Welcome everyone here and online. We're happy to have you with us on this joyous rainy day. I invite you all to join me now in speaking our commitment as a community. Together, we are a heart-centered community seeking spiritual awakening and transformation by deepening new connections with God, self, and others. Now I invite you to stand and join in our first hymn, Joy to the World.
And because we are all about joy today, there's going to be just a little bit of an interlude, so there's more to the song today. So pay attention to your music team as to when you come back in for each verse.
Wonderful. Now we have an opportunity to greet our neighbors, so please greet your neighbor with the sensitivity as to whether they like a hug or a handshake or a glance. Now it's time to sing Angels We Have Heard on High.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria.
be seated. And now we'll have the lighting of the Advent calendar. Our special family is coming forward. It looks like Joe and Meredy Lamantia. Happy to have you. In the season of Advent, we await the birth of Jesus as a divine being, a child who grew to show us what is possible for all human beings when we are fully aligned with God. During Advent, we celebrate the renewal of the Christ within, the awareness and celebration of our divinity. This is the sweetest joy, the deep realization that the birth we are about to celebrate is still happening within us and around us. The third Sunday of Advent, we light the candle of joy. That was the first one that was lit. The joy that is quiet, the joy that fills our hearts with love, our eyes with tears. It's a joy that brings us home to ourselves. That joy is ours when we touch the peace and perfection of the divine and know deep in our hearts that God is not separate from us and never was. I'm feeling this. And on this day, we relight the candle of hope, whose seeds are taking hold in our life and stretching towards light. We relight a candle for peace that senses our oneness with all that is, and we light a candle for joy. We realize at the deepest level that we are in God, fully human and fully divine. And the Christ is born anew in each and every one of us. May it light the way. Thank you.
Come festively sing while awaiting the birth. Join angels in dancing from heaven to earth. Wave banners of good news, lift high thankful praise. One candle is lit for the joy of these days.
Let's together do our transition affirmation. Together.
Blessing all who hear, peace on earth and goodwill to all, for Christ is born in you today. Lift up your heart, lift up your voice, and sing a song of praise, a song of peace, a song of joy, for Christ is born in you today. Lift up your heart, lift up your voice, and sing a song of praise, a song of peace, a song of joy, for Christ is born in you today. Christ was born upon the earth, rejoicing us of worth. A baby born in a stall brought peace and joy to all. Lift up your heart, lift up your voice, and sing a song of praise, a song of peace, a song of joy, for Christ is born in you today. Lift up your heart, lift up your voice, and sing a song of praise, a song of peace, a song of joy, for Christ is born in you today. Angels sing, Hosanna ring, Jesus song of peace, a song of joy, for Christ is born in you today. Lift up your heart, lift up your voice, and sing a song of praise, a song of peace, a song of joy, for Christ is born in you today. Peace on earth and goodwill to all, for Christ is born in you today. Today, today, each day.
Thank you, choir. It was absolutely beautiful. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today, a friend of mine named Dan Piekarsky. He's been a member of Unity since 1996. He's been learning and living with Unity principles and practices since the first time he attended a service long ago at the Waldron Theater. One could argue that his process has been slow, but his processes, wait a minute, one could argue that his process has been slow, but the lessons absorbed have become deeply, deeply embedded. With years of commitment, service, and leadership in this community, his endeavors to be the light and to see the light, he endeavors, and his endeavors have obviously paid off. He is the light, carries a beautiful light, and he's married to the love of his life, Beth, and has 2 adult children, Will and Christopher. Please welcome Dan Piekarsky.
Oh, yeah. My talk has suddenly gotten shorter. Glad I numbered these pages. Here we go. I need to come over here. I had to set that up for later. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. Michael May once told me, he said, you always want to start something with a little provocative sense, and who needs joy? It's December 17th. There's the hustle, bustle of Christmas season. It's on us. It's cold, kind of miserable. The shops are crowded. There's traffic. It's dark at 5:24. Students are stressed. The professors are just overwhelmed with grading. We're abusing our credit cards and being abused, all in the name of trying to find this Christmas feeling. Shop till you drop. I'm going to buy that Christmas joyous feeling. I'll feel joy when I get the Christmas decorations up. The tree's going to be up. The presents will be wrapped. And then I'll find joy. Bah humbug, to quote a well-known literary figure. Sometimes I can't really wait until Christmas is over. It's just a lot of stress. The Christmas season in and of itself doesn't bring me joy. So what is joy? Where do we find it? How do we find it? Well, I'm going to start back. Ginger Curry, one of our retired ministers, one Sunday started her Sunday talk with a trip through several dictionaries looking for definition. So I'm going to start there. Merriam-Webster defines joy as the emotion evoked of well-being, success, a good fortune, or by the prospect of possessing what one desires, delight. Britannica Dictionary defines joy as a feeling of great happiness, a source or cause of great happiness, something or someone that gives joy to someone. Dictionary.com defines joy as the emotion of great delight or happiness caused by something exceptionally good or satisfying, keen pleasure, elation. And Mark Twain said, to get the full value of joy, you must have someone to divide it with. So these are all great bases. So let's kind of pin that right there and keep exploring. I think we can agree that joy is an emotion and it's derived from a feeling. But does happiness give joy? Or does joy give happiness? One of my love languages is the gift of service. But in terms of giving gifts, and my wife will gleefully tell you, I'm a disaster. I'm a disaster. Some people have this amazing ability to give a gift, and it's thoughtful, and they've thought about it, and it just, when they give it to you and you open that present, it just hits the exactly right note. They got you. Not me. Not me. Thinking about buying a gift and trying, knowing that some people are really great at giving gift, and I'm just like not, I freeze. I can think of nothing that would ever be adequate to the way I feel about the person that I want to give this gift to. And so this leads me to feelings of inadequacy, fear, trepidation, and the spiral descends. I'm just not good enough. Who needs Christmas anyway? Who needs joy? Come on, it's awful. So, where is this leading? What is joy? We've determined it's an emotion. But why is joy? When is joy? Why, when, and how do we experience joy? Why can't I always just be joyful? More questions. Yeah, we know that joy does exist. We've all probably at some point, sometime, really, truly experienced joy. So in researching my talk, I found a lot of quotes. You're going to hear a few from people you know and don't know. According to Jack Wellman, who's a pastor of the Mulvane Brethren Church in Kansas, wrote that joy isn't like happiness, which is based upon happenings or whether things are going well or not. No, joy remains even amidst the suffering. So in continuing this thread of joy and exploring joy, I've been living with joy for about 3 weeks once I've determined what I was going to talk on. And I've just been mulling it over, joy. I came across this Rumi quote on joy. And Rumi was an ancient, I think 12th or 13th century Persian philosopher, teacher. And he wrote, sorrow prepares you for joy. It violently sweeps everything out of your house so that new joy can find space to enter. It shakes the yellow leaves from the bough of your heart so that fresh green leaves can grow in their place. It pulls up on the rotten roots so that new roots hidden beneath have room to grow. Whatever sorrow shakes from your heart, far better things will take their place. Another more modern philosopher, Eckhart Tolle, offers the following about joy. Pleasure is always derived from something outside yourself, whereas joy arises from within. Joy does not come from what you do. It flows into what you do, and thus into the world from deep within you. Joy comes from the source, deep inside of us. It's always there, immediately ready, and flows abundantly. So Eckhart Tolle and Rumi and many others have all said that joy is there at any moment and is available to every moment. But it seems like we're the ones that are stopping that because we're not connected in some way. Or if we forget, it's not that we're not connected. I think it's because we forget that we're connected. And that source of joy is always right there every moment. So I wanted to share a story with you. And again, as I was researching joy, I came across this quote from Psalms 5:11. And we hear these words. But let all who take refuge in you rejoice. Let them ever sing for joy. Now, this quote spoke to me, sing for joy. Maybe this was my connection to joy. As a child, I grew up in the rural Oklahoma. I lived on a 60-acre farm, and we had horses, cows, pigs, sheep, chickens. It was my job to take care of the livestock. And in the morning and the evenings, I would go out and feed them and make sure they had water. And I can vividly remember one summer evening, after completing the chores, it was a comfortable temperature out. It wasn't too hot in Oklahoma. It wasn't windy for change. And the sun was starting its descent beyond the horizon, which created the most amazing colors, the reds and the purples. And because I was coming up through the fields, the open fields created this kind of expansion, and you could hear the insects, and you could hear a little whippoorwill, or maybe a mourning dove in the distance as we're going toward twilight. There's this sense of expansiveness, something that's bigger, way, way bigger than you. And you get that sense of how big the world is and how small and insignificant you are, but yet you're part of it. So as I was finishing my chores, I was walking through the fields, and I began to sing, as I am wont to do. I was just singing. It was a wordless song. It was a moment of presence where my soul was connecting to the infinite world. And as I stood there leaning against a fence post, my voice poured out of me. It was from my soul. It was the sweet, pure voice soprano. I must have been in 6th grade, 5th grade. And the song was just soaring to the heavens, trying to express the infinite. And I sang, joyful in this connection, feeling the vibration of the sound, the breath as it, capital T-I-T, it. The sacred it flowed through me. I was in the moment, connected, free, non-judgmental, and in the flow. When my song ended, I became aware of my surroundings again. And I realized I'd given a concert. All of our cows had come up from the fields and were kind of like a semicircle, and they were all lying there, just chewing their cud. And the horses were back behind them. The sheep had come out from inside their shelter and were standing there, some of them lying down. The pigs were even quiet. So it was like a concert in the park. But looking back, I realized it was not me that they were listening to. I truly believed that it was the joy that was pouring forth through me. I believe in that moment, singing, to infinity. And I believe that this was my first conscious, memorable experience of what I now know as pure joy. The singing in and of itself, though physically pleasurable, it was not the source that poured through me. The source of the joy is deep, and it came from within me. I think it comes from within all of us. And so in my research for understanding, I came across the quote, another one from Rumi, the 13th century poet, mystic and philosopher. I connected that moment to the source. When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. I'll say that again from Rumi. When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. One piece of music that connects me to the infinite. The connection is an Appalachian song called I Wonder as I Wander. And today, Richard and Phyllis and I are going to come together to perform this song. And Richard's actually playing a modern version of a very ancient instrument called a bowed psalter. So, and Phyllis will be on the piano. And so, as we perform this piece, I invite you, as you connect with the music, the vibrations and the sound, to find your inner connection. Open up your joy and let the vibrations of this song open you to your joy. Let it wash over you and soak into every molecule. Open your mind, open your heart, and allow this connection to source, flow through you, and be grateful. As I wander out under the sky, how Jesus the Savior did come for to die, for poor ornery people like you and like I wonder as I wander out under the sky. When Mary birthed Jesus, 'twas in a cow stall, with wise men and farmers and shepherds and all. But high from God's heaven a star's light did fall, and the promise of virgins it did then recall. If Jesus had wanted for any wee thing, a
star in the sky or a bird on the wing or all of God's angels in heaven to sing, he surely could have it, 'cause he was the king. I wonder, as I wander out under the sky, how Jesus, the Savior, did come for to die for poor ornery people like you and like I wonder, as I wonder out under the sky. So picking up the thread, Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, a French Jesuit priest, said, "Joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God." Joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God. So Eckhart Tolle writes that joy is more than just a feeling of happiness. It is a deep and lasting delight in what matters most to us. Joy can be experienced in different ways, such as through gratitude, wonder, awe, love, peace, hope, faith. Joy can also be cultivated as a virtue by practicing habits that align you with our values and purpose and bring forth that connection that's deep inside each of us. So this is your homework for this week. I want you to breathe. I want you to connect to Source. I want you to be open to the joy that is everywhere, at every moment. You know, who needs joy? No one. No one needs joy. Everyone has joy. There is no lack of abundance of joy. It's already in you. Don't wait. There's a fount from an endless river that can pour forth from you in every moment. Some of us are starving. Some of us are starving because we're not looking in the right place for joy.
We're looking for the Christmas directions. We're looking for, everything to be easy. But that's not where joy comes from. To repeat, joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God. And in closing, I want to leave you with one last quote from Maya Angelou. And she says, "We need joy as we need air. We need joy as we need air. We need love as we need water. We need each other as we need this earth that we share." So thank you.
There is joy in simple living. There is joy in simple loving. There is joy in simple being. And where there's joy, there is peace. There is joy in simple living. There is joy in simple loving. There is joy in simple being. And where there's joy, there is peace.
It's time now for our meditation period. I find it helpful to close my eyes, unfold my arms, unclench my hands, place my feet squarely on the floor, and start at my forehead and wrinkle it and let the tension flow down through me. Shrug my shoulders a little and let the tension fall further. And see the tension run out my feet and into the floor. I like to get into my head and take the concerns and let them follow the same route as the tension, down through my body and out to the floor. As I clear my mind and enter a little silence, I know that the combination of quiet, silence, and emptiness brings me closer to the source, helps me to hear the still small voice within. And I find joy in this empty, silent space as I fill it with the gratitude I feel for this community, all the gratitudes I feel for my family, for my existence, for my friends. This is the time to acknowledge the joy in living life. So in the next couple of minutes of silence, bring to mind your own sense of gratitude for all the things you have in your life.
I invite you all to join me as we come forward to collect our offering in the abundance affirmation. Together, I am an abundant being in an abundant universe. I am not dependent on people or situations for my good. God is the source of my supply. I always have something to give, and I exist to give it. I expect the best, I give my best, and I now attract the best in every situation.
Merry Christmas, Christ is born within us. It's a very extraordinary day. Hallelujah, let the Christ within us radiate so we can celebrate this day. Make a joyful sound, let sleigh bells jingle. Joy is always found when love thoughts tingle. Merry Christmas, let us join in oneness. Blow your horn, for Christ in you is born to stay. On this merry Christmas day.
I invite the greeters to come forward as we bless this offering together. Those of you on blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Yes. And so it is. I have a few announcements. Before that, I might make a suggestion, and that is that we take I think we take Dan's message to heart and take it home and have our own concert, whether it's verbal, musical, within our souls, that we take a few moments to do that, to stop, and to be love, be light, be joy. And so it is. The announcements, we have a drumming circle on December 21st at 7 o'clock. January 3rd, we have a board meeting. All are welcome. January 11th, it's the deadline to connect to the nominating committee if you want to be considered for nomination for membership. And the nominating committee is Dan Piekarsky, Melanie Roby, and Patty Robinson. Also on January 14th, save the date, Unity Basics and a Refresher course with Reverend David LeBeau. I assume that's on Zoom. And Joni, you wanted to say something?
Thank you, Lynn and Dan, Phyllis. Sometimes as a community, we do things and kind of go on automatic pilot. And we do them because we've always done them. And in a time of transition, that's a time when we look at things and we pull the lid off and we see what works and what doesn't. We were so happy coming out of COVID to have our welcoming greeting time back that we embraced it in full. When Reverend Greg Coles was here, he shared with us that there was a nationwide study that showed that the number one reason why visitors don't come back for a second visit is the welcome your neighbor time in the middle of the service. What we have experienced as our warm and friendly nature, our visitors have perhaps not experienced it that way. It has left some visitors feeling uncomfortable. So starting in January, we are no longer going to do our beginning of our service greeting time. We're going to suspend that, and we're going to allow our guests and our visitors to experience our space and experience us and experience our service in their own way. We're going to ask you to come early and greet people and have conversation before service, and stay late and have snacks in the back and sit and visit and stay together after service. So starting in January, we will be suspending the welcome your neighbor. There might be other changes coming too. The board is hard at work and considering lots and lots of things and looking in every corner for what we can do better. And we welcome your input in all of that. The final thing that I would like to say is one of the privileges and true joys of being on the board is getting to vote in new members. This week, we affirmed and welcomed 3 new members into our fellowship, and today we will officially welcome 2 of them. So I would like Benita Bavetta to come forward, please, and also Michael Brown.
Hit it, Phyllis. I don't have it, sorry.
And we behold the Christ in you. We behold the Christ in you. All right. I'd love a photo, if I may, Joni, with you, please. Welcome.
Okay, well, let's do the light surrounds us first. Let's stand together and do the light of God surrounds us. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Now let's join hands and sing Let There Be Peace on Earth.